Hello everyone, this is Jan from orJANics 50 and Raw, and I'm getting ready to go to bed. It's 10:20, but before I do, I'm drinking some turmeric and lemon tonic drink, and I'm gonna make some sauerkraut. So I wanted to show you, been wanting to show you guys how I make my sauerkraut for a long time. So here goes. I have purchased some organic cabbage, and I just cut it all up like in pieces like this so that I can put it in my food processor where I'm going to grate it. You can see I have the grater in there. And I like my cabbage fine. I don't like long stringy cabbage or sauerkraut. So I'm gonna grate that. I am gonna add some curly leaf kale and some dinosaur kale. And this time my kids requested I put some jalapenos in it. So I've actually taken the stem out of the curly kale already. I'm gonna de-stem this, and then I'm gonna put all of this through, except the jalapenos, through the grater. And I'll show you that when it's all done. Kale's going in. Already got it. Okay, so I grinded or grated the cabbage, the curly kale with no problem, but the dinosaur kale I wouldn't recommend grating. It has long strings in it, got all caught up in it just wasn't a good idea. If you're gonna use dinosaur kale, just chop it real fine. So look, I have this. Okay, there's nothing else in here yet. But I am gonna, if you look over here, this is everything I have ready. I chopped up the jalapenos, I have a sweet onion, some garlic, because 2 of these is going to be spicy. I have 4 quart jars here because I'm pretty sure I'm going to get 4 quarts out of there. 2 are going to be spicy and 2 are going to be dilly. And I'm trying something new. Well, I'm going to use 2 of my jars. I'm going to use these airlock seals, which is what I always use. And I just got getting fancy, and I purchased these fermentation weights. Aren't they pretty? Glass fermentation weights. I have never used them before. And normally I would just cut a round piece of the cabbage out before I shred it, like about this big, 1 leaf, and then squish it on top of the sauerkraut, and then put in I also have here something new that I'm going to try, and these are called, what are they called? I just ordered these, a pickle pipe. So this is gonna go like this, and there's no need for an airlock seal with water. Apparently this just lets the air come out and doesn't let any air in. So I'm gonna try those for the first time, but I was intrigued, and I was watching a YouTuber and looking at some fermentation recipes, and I thought, oh, that looks like fun, I'm gonna order that. So back over here, I'm gonna add, I don't like my sauerkraut very salty. You can add 1 tablespoon a quart, or you can add 3 tablespoons a quart. I'm gonna add like probably 1 tablespoon a quart. So I'm gonna have 4 quarts, and I'm gonna fill up. So I'm gonna add in here 4 tablespoons. Now the salt just keeps the bad bacteria from growing. I'm gonna put that aside. And I'm just gonna mix it up. Now I'm not gonna be pounding this. The juices will just naturally come out of this. I'm just gonna pack it in the jars. I'm not gonna spend a bunch of time. In fact, I'm just gonna I'm gonna stir this up, and then I'm gonna add the kefir whey to it and get my hands in here. So I have some kefir whey here that I'm gonna add just to kind of speed up the fermentation process, because I don't want to let it sit for a month. I want to let it sit for a few days and start eating it. So I put the kefir whey in here. So now I'm just gonna, with my clean hands, I'm gonna start tossing this so it makes sure that look, and you can squeeze it and make sure that it's all coated. The salt is thoroughly mixed in, which it is. Okay, I'm gonna pack half of this in 2 jars, and I'm gonna layer. Okay, so I'm gonna fill the jar, and one of these is really pretty necessary when you're filling jars, or you're gonna get lettuce or cabbage everywhere. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put a layer on the bottom of jalapenos. And I just sliced them. I'm gonna put in some onions and a couple of 1 clove of garlic. And then I'm gonna just put some of this in here. And then I'm gonna squish it down with my tamper. And then I'm gonna put another layer in. So see, you wanna really pack it really, 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 really tight. See that? It's half filled up. So now I'm gonna put another layer, jalapenos. You wanna make it look pretty too. Maybe I'll put some sideways like that. Some more onion, some more garlic. Jade, I think this is gonna be your favorite one here. Onions and garlic. And then some more sauerkraut. You wanna leave a good inch and a half on the top of air. So I'm so tempted to overfill the jars. I don't know why, but I just really like to stuff them. And I didn't add any water or anything to this. I think that's probably full enough. And you can see the waters are already coming out of the, see that? Can you see that? The water's already coming out of the cabbage. And when it's sitting, I'm gonna put it, I have a cooler that I put it in because it does let off some fumes and they're kind of stinky. And so I put it in a cooler and close the lid. And sometimes the airlocks will overflow. Now I don't know about the new one that I haven't used it before. So I'm gonna put in my weight. Oh, very cool, it fits perfect. And that's what it was meant to do. And then, hold on. I'm gonna put on this one, I guess. No, I don't need an extra seal or anything. It fits perfectly in the wide mouth ball jar. I am curious to see if this is gonna overflow. But, and then put it on tight. Voila, that's it. Jar number 1 done. Look at how pretty that looks. So I'm gonna let it sit minimum 3 days. I'm gonna do the other jars, but I'm gonna let it sit a minimum of 3 days. And at 3 days, I'll start eating, if we're ready to eat it. I'll start eating it and just leave the other ones in the cooler, not cool, okay? I'm just using the cooler as a place to put it. So if it overflows and leaks, it's there, it's contained, and it doesn't smell. So I'm gonna do another jar just like that, and I'm gonna show you a trick that I learned. When I'm done, the other half is gonna be flavored with this Bubby's dill pickles. We love Bubby's dill pickles. And frequently I'll add the brine to my sauerkraut, and my sauerkraut tastes like dill pickles. And that's the one that I make a lot, that my kids really like. And this Bubby's dill pickles, the brine is the living culture. Okay, 2 done, 1 to go. This is what I have left. And I lost my video person, so I'm just gonna show you. All I'm gonna do with this Bubby's brine is just pour in a little bit. Just like that. I'm gonna mix it up and then stuff it in the quart jars. Okay, there we have it. My pickle pipes. I said just squeeze the top. And then my water airlock seal, which air can bubble out as the bacteria produces whatever gas it produces, but nothing can go in. So isn't that pretty? And what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to put them in this cooler. As I told you, this is like where I always put my fermentations, in here, just like this. And then I just kind of stick it away. And that way, if it overflows, it's in here and it doesn't smell up my house when it's producing whatever gas it produces. And I put a piece of paper with a date on it because I always forget when I do it. And it can sit in there for 3 days minimum or a month. Some people even ferment their sauerkraut longer than a month. And I want to show you that even without pounding it, I had all this liquid that I couldn't actually even use in the jars. There was just too much liquid, it overflowed. And sometimes my airlock seals, the liquid from the sauerkraut will back up into the airlock. It's okay. As long as it's coming out, there's no air going in, it's gonna be perfectly fine. So, okay.